Welcome guys to UrGamingTechie's VR show, a show where we look at PC VR, PSVR, and mobile VR, so you guys don't have to waste your time and money. And today, we're looking at Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Now this game has been around on the other systems before, and it just came to VR recently. Is it worth your time and money? Let's go ahead and find out.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.
Alright guys, we're here with Hellblade. I've never played this game before on the 2D version of the game on the PS4 or anything like that. This is my first time with this game. I'm really excited because I've heard so many good things about this game, as I'm sure you guys have as well. We're starting this game from the beginning just to give you guys, some gameplay of the first 15 or 20 minutes or so. Like we usually do, so here we go.
Hello. Who are you? Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. Dead. It's breathing. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness. There will be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? They're watching. Why isn't she coming? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue you. He's already there. They can feel you coming. You're coming. Quiet.
Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking? He's in hell.
Oh, that's not good.
Up ahead. Do you see it too?
You promised you
What are
could.
those
Yes.
things?
It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call hell.
Turn back. Come back. Go back. It's not safe. Turn back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe.
These voices in your head that are in the headphones sound so creepy. Nothing like I've ever heard before with the way that they're doing the audio in this game. Such a good job. Also, I really like really nice looking game so far too.
Look around and you will see
Definitely a
them.
standout compared to most games.
The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here. This is not a place of rest.
Can't do this. Go back. Go back. They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to
We're
do
gonna do
that
that.
to you.
Why the fuck are we still here? I don't know why she didn't turn the fuck around.
They're watching. Stop. Can you feel them watching?
I can't
They're
now.
watching her.
The way you said that.
They're watching her. You're so close to the darkness. Go back. Can you feel it?
Something behind me.
What is she thinking? I can tell you. She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. darkness. It just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
They can feel
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper.
Well, I'm officially creeped out. Oh. So this is how they handle the cinematics, I'm assuming.
What is she looking at? What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
Here we go.
Look really clear.
Do not forget my stories, Senua,
Focus and you'll see.
because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate, but gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea and find a road that leads north and down to deep dark valleys.
We're in the water. Dirty water. This isn't easy.
The darkness is coming. It yearns for life, hungers for it, like a pack of wolves on a hunt. But she's not stopping. Not this time.
Can you see it?
The land of mist and fog.
He's in there.
The old fool was right.
You see it?
What was it he said? The river of knives across which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
He's lost. He's lost.
Where are you? There's no doubt about it. The source of the darkness is in Helheim. And the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
Yeah, this game was good.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she turn back? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead. He's dead. But his soul is in Helheim. His soul still lives. She needs to
Soon we
save
have
his soul.
to find
The
a way
bridge
out
to
of this.
Helheim.
Where are we?
I forget its name. She forgets too. But she does remember that only the dead may cross it.
Stairs over there.
That part wasn't so easy to forget.
There it is.
The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
Found the hidden path.
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim. And that is where you must travel.
Just drop down. What's down there? Why did she do that? She shouldn't have done it. She can't go back now.
No, this is it. The hidden path.
He's going to hurt you. It's dangerous.
Don't kill me. I'm not one of them.
Don't listen.
I was just hiding. I find I live longer that way. Don't listen. I'll never let the bastards catch me again. Never! Wait. Who are you?
It's just a memory.
Ruth? Is that you?
How do you know?
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's
An old fool. Truth is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend. I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
I can see one.
focus.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find one like it to open the gate.
She needs to look closer.
I mean, it looks like a shadow on the wall. Is this what it's on?
Focus, and you will find it.
What's this over?
See it.
Yep, that's what it
Look
was.
towards the gate. And the gate?
The gate is open. Go through the gate. Go through it. It's dangerous. Follow it. What's behind?
It worked!
Hey, we're through the gate.
I spent 6 years enslaved in hell. But I watched the Northmen, learnt their ways,
I know you did.
You listened when everyone else laughed. My people paid a heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
Walking across this bridge, this piece of wood, while this waterfall's hitting it.
Another voice joins us. She was trying to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real. But what good is that? When we are always here.
Look at this thing right now. Look at this height.
I guess it's the same with heights.
Look at this
You
now.
can stand on the edge. Pretend it's going to be okay. But you know that death is near. Waiting for you to make that little slip. You can't just wish things away.
Don't fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. You can't fall. If you fall, you will die.
Thanks, I figured that.
The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead.
This is tight.
To Hela, your dinner sacrifice.
Stay back.
Look at it.
You have to open it.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead. Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door, she must find him. Shh. Someone's here.
Oh boy. That was creepy. Jesus Christ.
You took him from me. I beg you. Let him go. I'll give you what you want. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
You're killing. You're going to die. Get dying. Darkness is coming.
she doesn't have a
A vision of what's to come.
Oh.
Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is rot. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
The dark rot will grow each time you fail. If the rot reaches Senua's head, her quest is over. Oh shit. And all progress will be lost. Damn. Imagine being at like the end of the game and then just freaking dying.
The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow, whatever the cost.
He's not there.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
Alright. Well, color me intrigued by this game,
It won't open.
not knowing much about it.
Why won't it?
I knew the voices of mine are still here.
She needs to challenge the gods.
She has to fight two gods first.
Two gods?
Okay, so we're gonna actually pause that right here. That gives you guys a good look
I know.
at this game currently,
She's going to die.
of what this game's gonna be like and what you guys can expect.
challenge
I'm gonna obviously continue playing this game to the
Choose a
end,
gate, Senua.
and we're gonna go back to the table now that I, to give you guys my final thoughts on the game and if it's worth your time. So let's go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, so that was Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. So, as you can see, wow, this game is crazy. From what you guys saw in there, that gives you a small glimpse of what this game is actually about. So I'm going to give you a little bit more details. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil any of the story or stuff like that. I did finish the game. First of all, the game is about 6 to 8 hours. It costs $29.99. So definitely a good price range and definitely a solid 6 to 8 hours of gameplay. So what do I think about the game? Let's start off with what I think is the most impressive thing about this game, what makes this game very different. Is the atmosphere and the sound. The sound work in this game is absolutely crazy. You heard some of that before, but you don't get to actually hear it like I do. What I recommend right off the bat, make sure you use headphones with this game. I don't care if you have ultra surround sound like I do. Use headphones. It makes a big difference in this game with the way that the voices are done in your head. It really puts you into the game. So definitely use headphones. So the sound work and the way that the game environment is talking to you, how they're feeding you the story and stuff like that, and how Senua can hear all the voices around her and all the voices in her head and all that stuff is crazy. They really put you in the game, and then the atmosphere just reels it all in and really makes you feel like you're part of this atmosphere and really creeps you the hell out. Like I got creeped out even a little bit there in the beginning of the game that you guys saw. So that part of the game is amazing and definitely the highlights of the game for me. Right next to that is the story of the game. Obviously, we can't talk too much about it because I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But the story of the game is also really, really well done. Obviously, the story is about mental health issues and dealing through mental health issues and her going through it and her story. There's, love in the story as well. All those different kinds of things. So definitely a well-written story, and it takes you on a hell of a ride. And I really enjoyed, where the story started and where it ended, and everything in between. It was great. The graphics in the game are also really well done, as you can see in VR. Like I mentioned there before, I didn't play this game I didn't play the 2D version on PS4 or anything like that. I only played the VR version, and the graphics are probably easily in the top 5 for running for the best looking VR games to date so far. They did a really good job. The only issues to mention that there is a lot of pop-ins sometimes. You guys saw a little bit there in the actual recording that sometimes things just pop up out of nowhere. So there's some pop-in issues, but other than that, the game ran really well. I do obviously have a 1080 Ti, so obviously everything ran at max and all that. But you shouldn't be surprised that it runs well for me. Neither should I. So, but the environmental detail and all that stuff is just really well done. And going back to the story too, the things that you saw in the story, I forget exactly what they're called right now, that you highlight, so it gives you more of a background story of the gods and all the things around that area and stuff, is also really well done. I really like that part. So that was really well done. Now the gameplay in this game obviously relies on most of what you're doing in this game is obviously puzzle work and some combat. So I struggle to tell. Obviously, if this game is going to be for you, you're going to obviously have to go into this game knowing that this is heavily story focused. But a really well done story and a really well done voice work, which is really important in a game like this. It's really well done and really delivers a really important message and all that stuff. But you're gonna you're gonna know that going in, that this is not gonna be, if all you're looking for is to shoot guns and have heavily done combat and all that stuff, that's just not gonna be the game for you. I wouldn't even say that it's heavily into puzzle work either. Even puzzle fans, if that's all you're looking for, this still isn't for you, because puzzles are there. But the majority of this game is still going to be you going through the story and going through the environment and being a part of her world and listening to her story and seeing her go through it. There are puzzles, and you are going to, some of them will even stump you for a few minutes like it did for me. But most of them are relatively, straightforward and stuff like that. The combat is fun, but it's far and few between. It's not the focus of the game or anything like that. But the combat works, and it's fun when it's there. But what takes you through the story is obviously... what takes you through this game is you being interested in the story, you being interested in the environment, and being interested in what the story is trying to tell you. So, if that all sounds interesting to you, then it's definitely a game that I would recommend. Like I said, if you know those caveats going in, because it's definitely one of the most standout experiences that I've had, not only in VR, but in gaming in general, in a long, long time, as far as where the story went and how it was presented and all that stuff, and the work that went into this game is just a really solid job. I can't wait to see where the developers of this game take their next game, because I'm going to be watching them and definitely be interested in whatever they do next, for sure. As far as any issues that I had with the game or anything like that, there's not really any issues except for those graphical hitches that I told you about with the pop-in and stuff like that. That's the only issues I ran in with in the VR, and the VR realm. The game is 6 to 8 hours long, like I said, so if that's okay with you, it is only $30, so it's half the price of a normal game. You obviously get the VR version for free if you already have the regular version on PC. So if you bought the regular version, this VR version is a free update, so you definitely must try it. If you have a VR headset and you have the regular version, you definitely must try it. Even if you played the game, go play it again, because being in that world in VR just takes it to a whole new level. Because I didn't play the 2D version, I just dabbled in it for like 20 minutes just to see, compare what it looks like. And obviously it does look better in 4K on an Xbox One X or a PS4 because it's 4K, and VR has to run twice as hard to even get those kind of frames, but it's still a very different experience. Like when you go in there, you really feel a part of the world, and it's very different, especially with the headphones on the Oculus just in there, and you're just strapped in, and that's all you're concentrating on. There's no other distractions, it's just you, the VR headset, nothing else is around you, no distractions, just brings that to a whole new level. So definitely my top experiences that I've had in 2018 so far, and easily in my top 5 experiences I had in VR as well. If you're a VR gamer, definitely check this one out, as long as you're okay with a story-filled game. But like I said, a really well-done story and really well-done voice work and all that stuff, and presented in a way that I haven't seen in other games in the past. And they just did a really solid job with this one in VR. Hats to them for bringing a port, which is essentially what this was, into VR. They did a hell of a job bringing it over. I don't have any major issues, and it feels like the game was made for VR. So, as always, guys, if you guys have any questions about anything I may have missed or anything you've seen, leave them down below. If not, as always, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
Tech, Gaming Techie is the gaming tech, Gaming Techie, Gaming Tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.